Hey guys, today I'm going to give you guys an in-depth guide about the settings, the options that there is in Apex Mobile. But I am not going to cover every single bit of setting in Apex Mobile because I don't know some of the uses for some of the settings yet. So I won't cover every single bit of settings in the game, but I will explain most of the settings and I will give some examples for it too. So enjoy this video. Alright, now first I'm going to explain to you guys about aim assist. So aim assist helps you to aim at the opponent if your aim is a bit messed up. So for example, if your crosshair is missing the enemy, like it's far off from the enemy, like here for example, then the aim assist will help you redirect your crosshair to here, like to the enemy. Now for the bolt action sniper firing mode, there's tap to fire and then release to fire. For tap to fire, all you need to do is just press it lightly once and it'll shoot like this. I was using the left firing button, pay attention to it. I was using the left firing button and it'll shoot, and then I'm going to use my right firing button and it will shoot when I press it too. And then when I press release to fire, when I use release to fire, you can ADS on the sniper without needing to open the scope first, like this. I'm using the right firing button with my thumb, and it will open the scope without you needing to press the scope button. Now for auto ADS while using a bolt action sniper, it's still vague. I don't understand how it works, so I'm gonna skip it and I'm going to revise this whole video when the global version comes out. And now onto the left side firing button, now I'm going to use it on. Now pay attention, look at the top left up firing button. It's here, it's here. Now when I choose close, it disappears. So that setting is for that. And then when I use enable 1 ADS, the firing button, the left firing button will appear, but when I press close, it still doesn't appear. Now for one tap ADS and fire, when you choose close, look at my right firing button. Look at it. Wait, I'm going to make it 100% opacity. Wait a second. Now there's nothing, just some bullet firing icon, and then when I choose fire after ADS, there's like a bullseye target on it, and it will, when I use close, it will hip fire when I press it, but when I choose fire after ADS, it'll ADS first, then it shoots. Let me repeat it again, I lost it. It will ADS first, then it shoots, but when I press fire while ADS, it will ADS while firing. Like when it enters the ADS animation, it will immediately fire. Meanwhile, the fire after ADS, it requires you to ADS fully first, and then it just fires. Meanwhile, compatible mode is like auto. It chooses for you which will be the best one for your device. Now for ADS mode, there's three options. They're tap, hold, and mixed. I personally use mixed, but I'm going to explain to you guys first what it does. Tap. So when you tap, you just tap it once, and then it'll ADS until you tap it again to close the ADS. But if it's hold, you need to hold it to ADS so it doesn't release the ADS, and if you release the ADS button, the open scope button, it will immediately closes the scope. But if you choose mixed, then it will if you tap it once, it will enter the tap mode, but if you hold it, it's going to hold the scope until you release the scope button. Now for quick throw, there's close and on. I personally use close. Now I'm going to demonstrate what it does. I if I press close, first I pick up my ordnance, which is an arc star, and then the game doesn't do anything about it. But when I choose on, immediately after I press my arc star, immediately when I pick up my arc star, it should have thrown itself like I'm unarmed right now, and if I press my arc star, it will immediately throw. But I think the setting is still bugged because it's still a beta and it's not programmed in the game yet. So now for scope mode, there's classic scope, there's shoulder scope, and there's hybrid scope. The first one is the classic scope. So now if you open the scope, press the scope button, it will just open the ADS immediately, and you'll see the iron sight here. And if you press shoulder scope, and shoulder scope only works on TPP, so I'm going to show you on TPP. Now if you press shoulder scope, it will zoom in like this, except if you use a sniper, it will zoom in like the classic scope. And then if you use hybrid scope, you will need to use the one tap ADS and fire, choose the fire after ADS or fire while ADS for full effects. So if hybrid scope, you press your firing button, your open scope button, it will do the classic scope. But if you use the fire right fire button, it will use hybrid scope. Now I'm going to explain what gyroscope is. So basically, it just captures your phone movement. So I am turning on the gyroscope, and I am not moving my screen. As you can see, if I move my screen, there's the white circle here, but I am not. I'm just using my phone, and I tilt it around, and the screen, my character is moving. Not my character, but my screen is moving, like the aim is moving. Now if you use close, then as you can see, I am moving my phone, but it doesn't move around. But if you use on while ADS, it doesn't move around when you're using it for hip firing. But if you're using it while opening your scope, it will move around. But personally, I use always on, so when I am when my aim is bad, so I can just move my phone and it will help me aim. Now for gyroscope, horizontal and vertical roll, it's basically inverted gyroscope. So if you turn your phone to the right, it will go to the left. Meanwhile, if you turn your phone to the left, it will go to the right. Now I'm going to turn it off. But now for vertical roll, if you tilt your phone down, it will go up, and if you tilt your phone up, the aim will go down. Now for advanced setting options, auto firing doesn't work in this beta. For weapon auto cycle on empty, so if you empty your magazine like this, it will immediately switches to your secondary weapon. Now aim button rotates view is that if you press the right firing button here, you can still move your screen like this. You can move your aim while you're pressing the right firing button. Now for quick optic switch, when you have like 1 or 2 scope in your backpack, I'm going to pick up the 2x scope here for example. Now there's this button here that allows you to quickly changes to the 2x. Now for continuous throwing, if you press close, if after you throw, for example, you throw a grenade, then it will unarm your character. But if you turn it on, it will, after you throw a grenade, for example, it will quickly switch to another grenade. Now for tactical ability release method and ultimate use method, I tried it. I run some tests with it. like a couple of times, but I still can't find any difference. So for this setting I can't really explain anything to you guys, but it basically only changes with the legends that can throw their abilities. Like Raven here, you need to aim it. You need to aim it first. You need to aim it first before it releases, like Bangalore or Revenant. Now for joystick triggers auto run, there's close and on. Now let me show you close. If I choose close, when I use my joystick near the edge, near the top here, there won't be anything that shows, but if I choose on, there will be this thing that upwards of the joystick, there's the sprint here, there's this circle with the sprint, and if you slide your joystick towards it, it will auto run. Now for joystick triggers auto run, there's close and on. Now let me show you close. If I choose close, when I use my joystick near the edge, near the top here, there won't be anything that shows, but if I choose on, there will be this thing that upwards of the joystick, there's the sprint here, there's this circle with the sprint, and if you slide your joystick towards it, it will auto run. Now with crouching controls, you can tap or hold. So it basically, if you tap, you just press it once, and then it will automatically crouches for the rest of the game until you press it again, so it uncrouches. But if it's hold, then you need to hold it. You need to hold it if you want to crouch. Otherwise, if you let go of the crouch button, you will stand up. For auto open doors, it basically, so if you run towards a door, for example, you run towards the door will automatically open. So now I'm going to show you on auto open doors. So I'm not going to press any button, and when I run into the door, it immediately automatically opens. And for the ping button, there's close. If you close, now I will show you when it's on. When it's on, there's like this little button here. It's this one, and you can ping where you want to go, or you can ping where the enemy is. So for the double tap screen to mark, if you press the screen like anywhere on the screen twice, like for example, I'm going to tap the zipline here, it will mark the area with there's an enemy there. Now for auto ping items, if you turn it on, so basically if you like come into some items that are level 4 or above, like a level 3 level 3 or above, like a level 3 armor, level 3 barrel stabilizer or something, or a healing items, then or some healing items, then it will basically ping it. So about the auto open bins, basically if you get close to a bin, it will automatically open the chest without you needing to press any button. Now for map radar alert, this involves the area where the enemy was shooting from and the footsteps where the enemy is at. Now look at this highlight that I highlighted. Now this is basically footsteps where the enemy is. Okay, now for the left ping button, if you press it on, then there's gonna be the ping button near the bottom side on my left firing button, this one. And then for ping info opacity, I can't spell that, opacity, if you make it like 60%. If you ping, then it will be like very transparent, like you can't see it clearly. But if you turn it on like up to 150%, then it's gonna be more clear. But I'm in the training area, so it's not gonna show it like that. And then quick ping, there's close and on. If you press close, then there's gonna be 6 options here, and if you press it and if you turn it on, then it will choose 2 pings in the easy ping options here. You can only choose 2. Like I choose enemies and attack here, and when I ping, the ping screen is small and there's only attacking and activity. Activity is like there's enemy there, and it's indicating that there's enemy there, and attacking is like go attack there or like push there. So for attachment backpack, if you turn it on, you will see the quick button above the backpack icon, and you can discard the attachment that's in your backpack or in your gun. It's equipped in your gun, and you can still just take it off with the quick backpack. So for smart healing item recommendations, for example, if you got injured like this, your HP is below 100, there will be some kind of items that will pop up around here, right below the right firing button, above the healing items shortcut, and you can just press it and you can heal with it. Like it will give you recommendations, like for example, even if it's medkit here, if there's a medkit icon here, but your health is like only got reduced by 10 or 20 HP, it will show up syringe here. Now for toggle to use healing items, I'm sorry, but I don't know what it does. Now I'm just gonna skip it, because I know it doesn't really do anything in my case. Maybe it's because it's in the beta, so I don't know, maybe they didn't implement it yet. But for continuously use health items, for example, I use my stim here, and my health is gonna get reduced. I'm going to do it one more time so my health will get lower. Now, for example, I am going to use this syringe, and my health wasn't full when I finished using that first syringe, so the game will automatically use another syringe for me until my health is full. Now for continuously using shield battery, we know that shield battery recharges all of your armor in one use, so I'm pretty sure it means recharges using shield cells. So like, look at me, I'm using a purple armor and my shield got cracked, and if I use my shield cell and it haven't recharged full, it's going to automatically uses it one more, because my dumbass pressed close here. I'm going to do it one more time. So like, look at this, I am going to use a shield cell, and I'm going to fill 1 bar, and my armor wasn't full yet, so I'm going to keep on recharging until my armor is full. Now for minimap rotation, you can choose close, and as you can see on the minimap here, the one is that's moving is my arrow, and if I choose on, as you can see, my arrow didn't move. The one that moves is my map instead of my arrow. Now for overall sensitivity, the first setting is the rotation mode, which is fixed speed, distance acceleration, and speed acceleration. for fixed speed, so when you move your screen like this, like you want to do it how fast or how far, it's still gonna be the same, it's consistent. But when you use distant acceleration, like the further you reach with your screen, it will get like faster. Then if you choose speed acceleration, if you it depends on how fast you move your screen. If you move it like this, it's slow, then it's gonna be small. But when I move my screen very fast, it's gonna get further, the rotation is gonna get further. I'm not doing I'm not reaching far with my screen, but it's still going really far with speed acceleration. Now for overall sensitivity, I don't think my sensitivity will fit you guys. You guys need to come up with your own sensitivity. And let's move on to the first person viewing button. There's the first person viewing button is when I press on, like there's this small icon here right next to Steam button, which you can move to like peak certain angles like this, and it's also visible when you're parachuting, not when you're parachuting, when you're launching from the jump ship. It's the same with the third person viewing button. See, when I just close the first person viewing button off, and when I turn it to TPP, then you can see it again. So observation camera sensitivity is this one, and screen sliding default sensitivity is when you slide. Like when you slide, you can see left and right. And then there's camera sensitivity. Camera sensitivity is basically just when you walk, you can slide your screen left and right, and this is the sensitivity for the camera sensitivity. It also applies to when you are ADSing. Like for example, here I'm using I'm using an alternator and I'm opening the scope, and this is the camera sensitivity. Meanwhile, the ordnance sensitivity is when you, for example, you want to throw an arc star, and when you are holding it and you want to throw it, this is the sensitivity for the ordnance sensitivity. And then there's the legend throwing ability sensitivity, which applies to, for example, Revenant or Bangalore or Caustic when throwing his gas. This is the legend ability throwing sensitivity. Now for firing sensitivity, for example, the first person firing sensitivity is basically when you hit fire, and when you move your screen around while you're hip firing, that is basically the first person firing sensitivity. And for example, the 1x optic firing sensitivity, it also applies to iron sights, and I am shooting with my alternator here, and this is the first person, I mean the 1x optic sensitivity when it's firing. Then there's the gyroscope viewing sensitivity, and there's the gyroscope firing sensitivity. It's basically the same with the sensitivity for the camera sensitivity and the firing sensitivity above, but it messes with the gyroscope sensitivity. Like when you move your screen, this is the gyroscope sensitivity. Now I'm going to skip the control settings and move to the battle feedback. There's the damage number display mode. If you choose close, then it will not show any numbers when you fire, when you hit an enemy, when you shoot. It just shows the hit marker, but when it's stacking, it will accumulate, like it will keep on increasing the number of the damage you're giving to the enemy until you stop firing for a short period of time. But if it's floating, then as you can see, the number of the damage I just inflicted to the bot is floating above the bot. Now if I choose both, damage will keep on rising, but at the same time it will float above the bot. Now for target crosshair with shield icon, so if you shoot at the enemy, if the enemy has a shield, right now the dummies doesn't have a shield, but if you shoot a real enemy at a real match which has a shield, it will show the armor, the body shield that the enemy is using, like if it's white body armor or red or yellow or gold or blue. And if it's target crosshair, then it will not show the body armor and it will only show the crosshair, and if it's off, it will basically not show anything. Like here, it will not show the crosshair but only show the damage. And if you choose both close and off, then it will not show anything, only blood if you hit the enemy. I personally advise you to choose stacking and target crosshair, because if you shoot at the enemy, the damage numbers will glow, indicating what the enemy's armor is. And with the damage feedback, I think you will be better off with 3D icon, because if you get shot, you will know where where specifically the enemy is shooting you. Then 2D icon is like the general area of the bullet, where did the bullet come from. And if you use edge tips, then it will show you where the enemy is from, with like hexagons at the edge around your phone. And you can choose all three, but it kind of messes up with your screen, so I just choose one, and it's the 3D icon. Now for auto pickup, for auto pickup, so for example, you come across an item here, it will basically pick up the item for you, but it doesn't work on the firing range. There's a lot of settings that doesn't work on the firing range too. Like for example, there's a golden barrel here. If it's a real match, it will immediately pick the gold barrel stabilizer up and equip it onto my alternator. Then there's hide pickup list when hip firing. So when, for example, I am hip firing, it will, as you can see, I am not pressing the X button to close the pickup, the pickup list. It will immediately close when I hip fire. Then if I choose close pickup and stop auto pickup, for example, I am picking up stuff. Then if I am picking up stuff with my auto pickup, then if I press X, it will immediately stops the auto pickup from interfering with my gameplay. Now this is the end of the video. I'm sorry that some of these settings, these options, I haven't known the use for it yet, but I promise you guys, the next time I make this settings guide option, I'm going to explain every single detail that there is in the settings, and I hope this video is useful for you all. Thanks for watching.